It might be too soon of a return, but does make for a cool heroic story. Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev is officially the main event of a fight night on October 11th in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Firstly, these are the main events we want for fight nights, like contender fights that have meaning for the division, not just some random fight that they slap onto the main event. Oliveira versus Fiziev, although doesn't make that much sense considering the ranking difference, and Oliveira returning after a knockout loss, it will be a great fight at the end of the day, but might be way too soon. He fought Ilia Topuria and suffered the most violent knockout loss of his career over a month ago, so it'll be roughly 3 months since that brain-damaging loss, where he'll fight another dangerous striker who has the ability of knocking Oliveira out again. Fiziev is such a good striker. We'll see if it's the same version of Oliveira, but the guy's been fighting for so long, he has a lot of knockout losses. That one against Ilia was the worst of his career. He just didn't give himself enough time to recover from that knockout loss, and it's Oliveira that wanted this fight. He said he requested this, so the UFC gave it to him, and it seems like the opponent isn't as important to him, it's where they're fighting. He wants to fight in Brazil, and he's talked about it before as well. That seems to be the main reason why he took this fight. But the process of getting Fiziev as an opponent must have been very interesting, as he is ranked number 11. Oliveira is number 4. I generally don't like fights like this. I don't like when a lower ranked fighter goes up against a higher ranked fighter, especially when the lower ranked fighter is not coming off a win against some other highly ranked fighter, right? He's coming off a win against Bahamondes. Bahamondes is good, but before that was on a 3-fight loss streak, 2 of those at Justin Gaethje, 1 of that short notice, and then he had a knee injury against Gamrot. To go up against the number 4 contender, you would want to see Fiziev beat someone like maybe Beneil Dariush, someone in the top 10. But we have to give Fiziev a lot of credit for fighting as often as he is, because he also last fought in June. This will be his 3rd fight since March, and this will also be his 3rd shot at fighting someone in the top 5 within his last 4 fights. If I were to guess, I think they're doing Fiziev a favor for stepping on short notice to fight Gaethje, and then he fought Bahamondes soon after that, and that the lightweight division is a pond full of ducks. Fiziev and Oliveira are willing to fight anyone, it seems. There is also Gamrot and Hooker, who has their same mentality, and Gamrot's been ducked by multiple fighters, so it is surprising they didn't go with him. I think Hooker's injured, if I'm not wrong, but I'm surprised they didn't give Gamrot the Oliveira fight, given that he's ranked higher than Fiziev, and that he's been wanting to fight somebody. Nonetheless, this will be a great fight, and a cool story for Oliveira, returning home after a legendary journey of becoming one of the greatest lightweights of all time. It's been since March of 2020 when Oliveira last fought in Brazil against Kevin Lee. Then he was just a rising lower rank contender, right? A lot of people probably didn't think he would be as great as he became, because he went from a rising contender to achieving the championship belt, defending it twice, beating other legends in emphatic fashion, and now he returns home from that journey as a legend himself. Man, seeing Oliveira walk out to that crowd as a hero and one of their best fighters in history will be an amazing scene. That man has been feeding the poor in the favelas, helping those in need of his country while representing them professionally in his fighting career. Charles Oliveira is truly one of the biggest legends Brazil has ever had. And because of all that, because of his return home, the fight should be intense and exciting, but will it be too much for Rafael Fiziev? The atmosphere is going to be explosive, fighting in such an antagonistic territory, as Brazil, to be honest, hasn't been the most friendly to the opposition fighting there. We've seen it many times. Even when their own fighter loses, they don't necessarily like that. Like with Glover Teixeira, they left the arena before he finished his interview because he lost to Jamal Hill. I mean, he lost to Hill, so I understand. The Brazil audience is extremely passionate, so before and during the fight, especially for Charles Oliveira, the atmosphere could be suffocating for Fiziev. We'll see. The mental battle is going to be a test for him, but given the circumstance of Oliveira not recovering enough from his recent loss, Fiziev definitely has a good chance of winning. And could this be the way Fiziev finally enters the top 5 after so much anticipation and praise of his skills? Everybody always thought that Fiziev eventually will be top 5, might fight for the belt in the future. Is this the way he does it? Fighting a softened Charles Oliveira, right? Softened from Ilia Topuria. Fiziev beats that version of Oliveira, then fights Ilia after. It's possible. But with a win, Fiziev could get the next title shot since no one else wants to fight each other. Although I don't think he should fight for the belt. The fact that this fight got put together should put the rest of the lightweights on alert to get a fight going. Paddy, Gaethje, Arman, Hooker, all these guys should be getting their next fights, since they're wasting time. Fiziev is about to pass them all up, just because he has an opponent that is willing to fight him too, right? Now, to be fair, Arman is trying to fight Gaethje, Paddy, and Hooker, but he did duck Gamrot, which was confusing at the time when I originally talked about it, because he said he ducked a fighter on a loss streak, but Gamrot never had a loss streak, so I thought he was talking about someone else. I thought it was Fiziev or Chandler or someone on a loss streak, but these guys should be accepting fights now, because while they're all waiting for title shots, they're all waiting for a specific opponent that they want, Fiziev being willing to fight anybody just got Charles Oliveira, and he could get that title shot while everybody else is waiting around. Look how fast the landscape can change. If Fiziev wins, and especially knocks Oliveira out, he could fight for the belt, right? I can see Dana being asked, hey Dana, given the state of the lightweight division, it doesn't seem like there are many fights between the other contenders. Do you think Fiziev gets the title shot after a big win against a legend like Oliveira? Then Dana would be like, I don't know, we'll see how it plays out, but it looks like it. Fiziev has never said no to us, and he just knocked out a former champion, the number 4 contender, right? And listen, we love Charles Oliveira. He's been great to us. He accepted his fight against a savage like Fiziev in his hometown, and it didn't go his way. And listen, it's been hard to get these other guys to accept a fight. So it might be Fiziev next. For Ilya? You goof. I can see something like that happen. So it's not just Arman not fighting Gamrot, it's all these fighters. Paddy, fight Arman Tsarukyan. Don't say you're going to fight Gaethje over Arman. Gaethje said it multiple times. He's not going to fight anybody but the champion. So fight Arman. Arman wants to fight you. He's the number 1 contender. You'll get your title shot if you beat him. Justin Gaethje, you're not getting a title shot. You got to fight somebody. Fight Paddy Pimblett. Fight Arman Tsarukyan. Arman, yes, you want to fight all these top contenders, and I 100% agree from the perspective as the number 1 contender that you want to fight someone top 5. You want a tougher fight than Gamrot. But if they give you Gamrot, it's understandable to take that fight too. So man, all these guys got to just fight, bro. Stop ducking, stop turning down fights, stop saying you'd rather fight this guy over the other. Just fight somebody. Because now Fiziev is about to get a title shot before all of you. And I do think Fiziev is going to win. I think he is going to beat Oliveira. I don't see Oliveira being the same fighter out there. His striking might still be good, his grappling might still be high level, but I think his chin is going to be even weaker. Like a glancing left hook or right overhand. I can see shots like that dropping him. Fiziev is also incredibly fast. He's a technical striker, great takedown defense, very explosive. But the thing going for Oliveira is that the fight is going to be 5 rounds, and Fiziev generally doesn't have good cardio. He's so fast twitch. He's so explosive. It's difficult for him to pace himself for 5 rounds because every action from him is so incredibly explosive. And that's how he gets ahead, especially in the first round against his opponent. If I'm not wrong, he's won every first round of his career. He is one of the best first round fighters in the UFC. It's very difficult to beat him there. We'll see though, because Charles Oliveira does put on a lot of pressure. He collides with his opponent. We'll see if he fights that way against Fiziev because he did fight that way against Ilya. And he said his game plan was the opposite. His game plan was to use better distance management, throw more kicks and shoot more takedowns, not collide with punches. But that's just his style, man. That's just his style. That's the way he fights. And if he fought that way against Ilya, he's probably going to fight that way against Fiziev too, especially after he gets punched a few times. As they say, get punched in the mouth, your game plan goes out the window. He could lose like that against Fiziev. So I would say if they were both in their prime, I would pick Oliveira to win, especially in a 5-round fight. But if this is a lesser version of Oliveira, after the Ilya knockout, I'm going to go with Fiziev. I think he knocks out Oliveira within 2 rounds. Then entering into the top 5, could get a title shot if nobody else fights. I think the betting odds would also have Fiziev as a favorite. But the crazy thing about that is, the man's been a favorite in like all of his fights. Even in his 3-fight loss streak, he was a favorite in all of those. Yeah, he was a favorite against Bahamondes, Gaethje, Gamrot, Gaethje, RDA. He was a pick'em with Brad Riddell, favorite against Bobby Green, favorite against Moicano, underdog against Gia Casey, favorite against Alex White, and then underdog against Magomed Mustafayev, which was in the welterweight division. Yeah, so almost 90% of his fights, the guy's been the favorite. But should be a great fight altogether, and hopefully because of the announcement of this fight, we see the other top-ranked fighters fight each other now.